What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing another LEGO Star Wars 2014 set review on the Republic AV-7 Anti-Vehicle Cannon. And the set number for this one is 75045. The recommended ages are 8 through 14, and it has a piece count of 434. And it'll be retailing, or actually it is now retailing for $39.99, and it is a fantastic set for the most part, and I really hope it's not going to be one of the last of the Clone Wars sets, as you guys are probably aware, you're probably watching the episodes right now yourself. I'm recording this on Thursday, just the day prior to the Clone Wars episodes, you know, the final 13 being released on Netflix, but I can't believe that the Clone Wars is coming to a close, you know, today. I mean, I remember when the Clone Wars first started, and I was so excited by the movie. After I saw that, we had just moved into a house, so we didn't have cable, so I had to watch the first 10 episodes at an exercise room in our neighborhood, and it was just the memories that were derived from this show. I honestly will never forget. I mean, I wouldn't have the same awesome fans that I have today. I wouldn't know the same people that I know today if it wasn't for Star Wars The Clone Wars. And everything that it did for me as a person is just beyond anything that I expected it to. It inspired me. The Clone Wars inspired me and my creativity, and I started with Sharpie and making custom clones because I love the show to death, and I just really wanted to see those characters replicated in a Lego form, my favorite toy, and then it just kind of went from there, and that's really what started my channel. And for those of you who don't know, the Clone Wars is really what shaped me into who I am, and I followed every episode and enjoyed every episode, whether it wasn't the best episode or not. There were so many amazing episodes in the Clone Wars, even though, you know, it had a lot of haters for the first 3 seasons. It ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to Star Wars, in my opinion. And I've met the cast and crew behind it. I've met a few of them at Star Wars Weekends before, and they're really great people. And I just absolutely cannot thank them enough for what they brought to, you know, all of our TV screens every week. It was just a phenomenal show in every regard. And like I said, I will never forget it. You know, it's just unbelievable that today it ends. You know, today is the final day that we will receive new episodes for Star Wars The Clone Wars, and that thought by itself is upsetting to me. It's just unbelievable, guys. So I just gotta thank the cast and crew behind the Clone Wars, and thank you guys. So, yeah, I just want to get that off my chest. Really looking forward to these episodes, though, with Fives and Tup, investigating the conspiracies behind Order 66. Unbelievable story arc on the way, and you know, with Yoda and the Force and Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson finally voicing Qui-Gon again since the Mortis arc. It's just super exciting, but so upsetting at the same time. But hey, we have a new Clone Wars set available for us from the LEGO Group, with the debut of 2 new Wolfpack Troopers and a cannon that honestly should have been made way back in 2008, but it's better late than never if you ask me, and it's a pretty good set overall. $40, kind of pushing it, but without further ado, let's go ahead, now that I'm done, you know, practically saying goodbye to the Clone Wars, let's go ahead and take a look at the minifigures included with the Republic AV-7 Anti-Vehicle Cannon. So the Clone Wars version of Phase 2 Clone Troopers was never known for the best quality of printing, as, I mean, even the live-action Phase 2 Clone Troopers that we received in this exact same lineup look a lot better than them. But I mean, they're still really solid and fantastic Clone Troopers for the most part. I mean, the visor on the mouth really does lack, and you can see even on both of my Wolfpack Troopers that I got with this, the actual, like, venting marks printed on the mouth are misprinted and do overlap, and kind of, you know, are kind of getting away from the actual mouth area itself. So that's a little bit unfortunate. The quality of the printing isn't as good as the live-action Clone Troopers, not to mention the legs are a little bit lopsided. So I don't know really why there's such a difference between these and the live-action Clone Troopers, but it's still really nice. And one other minor complaint is, in the Clone Wars Season 2, I understand why they did this. It's just something that I kind of wish they really wouldn't have done. It's that, well, these guys are solid dark bluish gray. They're not sand blue like they were in 2010. And the Wolfpack, I gotta say, you know, their Phase 2 armor was different than their Phase 1, but still, I really do think they should have stuck with the sand blue color, just because it looks better than the dull dark gray that they chose to go with here. I mean, but still, it does look really nice for the symbol on the helmet here. You can see the Wolfpack symbol is fantastically printed on. Gotta commend LEGO for that, because that entire area looks fantastic, much better than previous Wolfpack Troopers, and just looks a lot better and just really nice and crisp. Not to mention the torso is really nice as well. Standard Phase 2 Clone Wars torso with a little bit of the Wolfpack gray on the top there, as accurate to their appearance. So that's really great. We get dark gray arms, and then we have the exact same look on the back, the same exact Clone Wars Phase 2 template, but of course with the accurate and appropriate Wolfpack markings on the back there. So I mean, that's really great how accurate this entire figure is, and like I already pointed out, this is a little bit lopsided, so I don't know what happened with the Clone Wars Clone Troopers. It's just like the printing just doesn't seem like it was really addressed to that decent of an extent in comparison to the live action Clone Troopers, but not comparing them anymore. You can see the knee pads are always great with these, and once again with the accurate and appropriate designs to the Wolfpack and as they appeared in the Clone Wars, and just really great minifigure for the most part. It's just you know, aside from the color and the helmet not looking as great as it could have, we do get a standard clone head with this, and once again I'm gonna miss these little heads. They were always great and stuck with me for years. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Wolfpack Trooper. Just you know, aside from some minor, you know, degrading in the printing quality and the color being a little bit dull, and I mean, that's just, those are minor problems for the most part, and not really anything that's going to stop you from, you know, appreciating this minifigure. It's just something that I wanted to point out just so you guys are aware, so that you guys, you know, walking into this, you know how this guy's going to look. And that's the only reason I point out smaller problems like that in my reviews, just so you know exactly what you're getting. But for the most part, that is your Phase 2 Wolfpack Trooper, and I'm still really glad to finally get the debut of these guys, as honestly I didn't even see it happening. Now, we are going to spend a little less time on Plo Koon here, but man, I'm so happy that the cast and crew decided to expand Plo Koon's role in the Clone Wars, as even in this episode that we just saw today with the release of all these 13 final episodes of the Clone Wars, Plo Koon was honestly at his best with this whole story arc with Sifo Dyas. Just amazing voice acting work by James Donald Taylor, and I've met James Donald Taylor, the actor, 3 times, and he's an unbelievable guy, and just, you know, absolutely great to see this character that he portrayed fantastically appear in this set. Plo Koon is literally the same as we've always had him. The head design is the same. I will tell you though, they actually did update the rubber with him. You won't notice on this video, but some of you guys who, you know, some of you LEGO Star Wars Clone Wars veterans out there will remember Plo Koon being a little bit, you know, his head being really, you know, kind of soft rubber, the type of rubber that whatever printing the LEGO group would put on Plo Koon would always wear off. And in this case, just like you might have recognized with Yoda and how they updated him with the ATRT last year, they've updated Plo Koon and given him the exact same, you know, quality upgrade. And now I don't think this Plo Koon is going to suffer from those same printing problems with the gray on him, because the rubber is updated and it's a lot more sturdy. So you'll even notice by just looking at these things that no one even knows the name of, that hang down, that he wears on his face to hide his face. Actually, he wears it, you know, because he can't breathe on most worlds other than his home world. That's why he wears the gray. But anyway, it's just really nice that they upgraded the plastic, because now the printing is a lot less likely to wear off, and it's just a lot more sturdy. So that's just really great, and that's a nice sign of improvement for the LEGO group. And hopefully this won't be the last time we see Plo Koon, but if it is, I'm glad they finally fixed that problem. He has a standard blue lightsaber, and he's pretty much the exact same figure. They did update his torso though. I will point that out. The torso is updated. Really nothing special, nothing too exciting either, but it is updated and it definitely looks pretty good. And not to mention the back, which is actually even less exciting, but still really nice. It's just the big plus for Plo Koon in this set is that they updated the plastic and made him a really nice high quality minifigure. And it's an update that honestly has been long needed for this character. So it's great to see Plo Koon at his best. Alright, so now that we have all the minifigures out of the way, we're going to go ahead and move them out of frame for just a moment and the box so we can get a look at the AV-7 Anti-Vehicle Cannon itself. And this is a really memorable vehicle for me personally. You guys might remember it from the Battle of Christophsis when the Clone Wars first began with the movie way back in 2008. The Republic was just practically abusing these things and using them constantly throughout that battle, and they were super cool. And I'm honestly, it's kind of sad to see that we're finally getting these now, because it's just ironic because we're getting a vehicle that debuted when the Clone Wars began, when the actual series ends. So it's just kind of ironic in that regard, but still a fantastic design regardless, and it's better late than never, as I already said. And yeah, also, guys, I apologize, I already mentioned it, but I mean, I apologize for the sniffling. I did kind of catch a cold. I just want to, reassure you of that and just remind you. So I apologize for that. But anyway, starting off with this feature here, we have a wheel on the back here, which with just some basic Technic wheels and some Technic pieces, you just spin it and it controls the angle with which you have the actual cannon itself positioned. So you can just practically spin it to the left and it goes up, spin it to the right and it goes down. So definitely a really fantastic functionality, and it makes it a lot easier to control it, and just a really nice stabilizing feature for the cannon itself. It's just really great that it doesn't flop around and that it's very controlled. So huge thanks to LEGO Group for making it this way, as it's really great. Even though it has a giant rod sticking out of the back, it's just still a really fantastic feature, and definitely appreciate it. Now, the actual cannon part itself is actually really well detailed. You have a good amount of droid arms wrapping around this yellow cylinder piece, which really adds to a nice level of detail. Not to mention this tubing on the top here, which starts here and then overlaps on the top of it all the way back into the spring-loaded shooter here. And you guys have all seen spring-loaded shooters before. They're pretty nice. You do get two of these, and they're this is the transparent green one. And you guys have already heard my opinion on the spring-loaded shooters. They're nice. It's just they don't look like Lego, and that's my only problem with them. But they're still more effective than any flick-fire missile at all whatsoever. So we can go ahead and take our droideka here, as included with the set, and by just positioning the actual cannon itself using this feature on the back and pushing down on the actual spring-loaded shooter and aiming correctly. Let's just adjust it a bit there so we make sure we hit our droideka. And I did hit him, but apparently the droideka has his shield activated because it just bounced right off of him. So I don't know what happened right there. I guess I kind of missed, but still a very effective playability feature if you're not as lame as me and you can actually hit your target. So absolutely fantastic to see the spring-loaded shooters, even though they don't really look like actual Lego pieces. And then it's kind of funny because not only do you have this is a first. This is a first for me. I've never seen a Lego group do this with the spring-loaded shooters yet, but you have a spring-loaded shooter and a flick-fire missile. I just think that's funny, given that the spring-loaded shooters are kind of meant to, send them out of style. But you still have flick-fire missiles, and you have extra flick-fire missiles on the sides here that you can reload with. So you just pop these out of these little connector pieces. You have two extra flick-fire missiles on either side. So you literally have more ammunition for the flick-fire missile than you do for the spring-loaded shooter. And I honestly think that's hilarious, but whatever. So hey, you have a flick-fire missile too, and like I said, more ammunition for it. So I guess they want you to use a flick-fire missile and say, hey, forget our new spring-loaded shooters because we have a flick-fire missile, woohoo! And the flick-fire missile still sucks. We all know flick-fire missiles, and the LEGO Group still, even with their new spring-loaded shooters, managed to cram another one in there with multiple ammunition pieces for it. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing to see the two of them show up in one set, but just kind of amusing. Regardless, we do have a seat here as accurate to the actual cannon itself, and we can go ahead and take one of our Wolfpack Troopers. Even though the Wolfpack Troopers never set foot in an actual AV-7 cannon in the show, we still have them included with the set, and they're still pretty cool seen in this cannon here. And you do have a robot arm right here, a droid arm, just clipped onto this one little clip piece, and with it a standard control panel piece on that, so it's nothing really too exciting, but still pretty nice regardless. And you can't really move the seat at all, but you can position the actual panel to go right up against his hands so that it looks more realistic, to look, as if he's actually looking at the screen. So really cool overall. And by the way, love this Technic box here, and which is a trans clear piece, so that's really cool as well. Nice little detail on the front here. And then we have the actual legs themselves. The actual legs are actually pretty well articulated. Now you might recognize these pieces. These pieces were just recently used with the AT-AP, if you saw that review, and they're really useful pieces, and especially in this case as well, they're really nice. They don't stand out. They look they're really consistent with the rest of the set, and yeah, but it's really nice. And really, like I said, it has 3 points of articulation. You can bend the legs, just as you can see here with these standard hinge pieces. You have 2 for each leg. You might recognize those, and practically you can bend them in 3 different ways. So you have that articulation there with the actual hinge pieces. Then you have these, like I said, the the same pieces that were used with the ATAP, so that gives it kind of like some ankle articulation. And what you're seeing here are the stopping points for those, and it's still really nice though. And you have these right here, these angular pieces, which we see all the time, and those for once are actually acting as the feet on this set, so that's pretty cool. I've never seen LEGO Group actually use these pieces, which I'm not even showing you, these pieces here for feet on any sort of vehicle, so I think that's pretty awesome. And yeah, so I mean, overall it's a really great set, and it's really nicely articulated in terms of the legs. Now the legs do kind of flop around because of all the articulation they do have when you move it around, but who cares, because it only takes a little bit to readjust it. And for the most part, it's a super accurate, obviously out of scale, but still a really nice looking cannon. And if you're building mocks that these cannons were present in the actual battle within the Star Wars universe, this is something you're going to want to get multiple of. And it's just a fantastic set overall. You have a lot of different Technic pieces in here. Honestly, you guys know I'm building the Siege of Pal City right now. And when I was building this thing, I was like so deviously looking at all the pieces, just wanting to implement them into my mock, because these pieces are super useful. And I really hope this thing survives the next 5 months as I build my Siege of Pal City mock, because like I said, these pieces are kind of useful. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this iconic cannon from the now ended Star Wars The Clone Wars. And for the most part, it's a fantastic set, but the problem being here, it's $40, and for $40 I can understand that. I can't really see this being $30, so I understand the price point. It's just still it's kind of sketchy price point, but still worth it regardless. I just think that maybe if we had a Commander Wolf, as I mentioned, it would make that $40 price point worth it, because we would have the ultimate Wolfpack, 2 Wolfpack Troopers, Plo Koon, and Commander Wolf. But no, we only get the 2 Wolfpack Troopers and no Commander Wolf. So like I said, I'm praying that this is not going to be the last of the Clone Wars sets, because we still need a Commander Wolf, as he really would have been a great addition to this set, and he really would have made the price point of $40 much more plausible than it currently is. But still, like I said, a fantastic set regardless, even though the set should have shown up in the 2008 lineup of sets when the Clone Wars began. But still, guys, that's it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box, instruction manual, extra pieces, and we'll conclude this review. Okay, dude, I admit I didn't give you much screen time. We've got the Droideka also included with this set as the only opponent going up against the AV-7 Anti-Vehicle Cannon, the Wolfpack Troopers, and Plo Koon. So he's outgunned and he's going to get blown away. But you guys saw him earlier in this review, and I just wanted to point him out as being the fact that he exists, and he's included with this set. Not my favorite Droideka design, I'm not going to lie. There have been better Droideka designs in the past, but it's still nice to get a Droideka at all with this set. You have the antennas used for the eyes on the Droideka here. We have the arms, these are the stubbier arms, and they are a little bit odd, and honestly, I'm not very fond of the arms. That's honestly probably what does it for me with this, is that the arms are just really stubby and strange looking, but they can bend back and forth. And then you have these robot arms as used always on Droidekas, allowing him to have a pretty decent amount of neck articulation. And then you have the articulated legs, which can bend up and down as well. We've all seen Droidekas before. This has the pretty much exact same base concept of a Droideka, just just smaller and stubbier. And that's the only thing I don't like about this design, which makes me prefer the older Droidekas. But still nice to get a Droideka in this set regardless. So now let's move on to the box, instruction manual, extra pieces, and then we'll conclude this review. The sizing of boxes is definitely not as traditional as it used to be with LEGO Star Wars sets, and the LEGO Group managed to fit a $40 set into a box that is the size of a $20 set, or at least the way $20 sets used to be sized, that is. But yeah, so really nice. You can see we do have the Phase 2 Clone Troopers with the same cannon pictured on the planet of Christophsis, even though these guys were never present on Christophsis during the Clone Wars, and like I said, they never manned this cannon, but who cares, because we did finally get the Wolfpack Troopers regardless. But no Commander Wolf. And you can see we also have all the same features that I just went over on the back here. Really nice, and it shows all of the same features, like I said, and it gives a nice look at the articulation that this thing does include. As I said already, it's a really nicely articulated model, and not to mention you have a nice action shot in the top corner here, which is also very nice on the planet of Christophsis once again. And then we do have Plo Koon sporting the actual size reference along with the other 2 minifigures included, both Wolfpack Troopers. So above all, really nice box. It's just smaller than you would think. The build is actually pretty lengthy for this one. It's a 70-page build, and I mean, it is a $40 set, but like I said, you do have a 70-page build here, and it is pretty repetitive because about 30 pages, I just gotta address this real quick, about 30 pages into this thing, the LEGO group says, build this 2 times, and that caught me by surprise because I had just finished building an entire section, and then the LEGO group was like, hey, build this again, and I'm like, gosh, damn it. So that happened, and it kind of made it feel pretty repetitive, but it is necessary to make the vehicle look accurate, so no real complaints. Just wanted to point it out for when you build this yourself. And then you do have the new advertisement for lego.com/Star Wars, the same checklist we've been seeing with the rest of the sets, excluding the exclusive sets and microfighters, but still pretty cool regardless, even though no one's going to use it. And yeah, pretty basic instruction manual, but like I said, a little repetitive. We actually get a pretty fair amount of extra pieces with the AV-7 Anti-Vehicle Cannon, and you can see here we get an extra one of these red tubing pieces, which you don't see a lot of, so that's pretty cool. And once again, great detail that was on the top of it, not to mention getting an extra one, pretty awesome. And then we do get an extra spring-loaded shooter piece as well, because guaranteed you're going to lose some of these, and whatever set that they come in, you're going to get extra of, so that's not a problem. Pretty awesome regardless. And you can see we do have a pretty decent amount of extra pieces here, primarily just consisting of extra connectors, and we get a lot of studs here as well. We get an extra lightsaber, hilts for Plo Koon, and also a you know, tooth piece. So yeah, and speaking of Plo Koon, James Arnold Taylor voiced Plo Koon, and he did a fantastic job. So it's just another salute to the cast and crew behind the Clone Wars, and like I said, man, am I gonna miss it so much. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and conclude this review. General Plo, if you don't mind me asking, whatever happened with Commander Tano's case?
General Skywalker had proved her innocence and that she had been falsely accused, but by that time we had already banned her from the Jedi Order, and she refused any offer to come back and kind of left.
Well, that's kind of cold. And sir, didn't you help make that decision? And if, with all due respect, if you don't mind me asking, weren't you the one who also brought her to the Jedi Temple as a child when she was on her planet of Sheely, and have you attempted to make any contact with her now that the whole series is over?
You know what? You're the one who stunned her, and you shouldn't even be in this set. And neither should you.
Sir, please don't. Alright guys, so that about wraps up this review on the Republic AV-7 Anti-Vehicle Cannon. Hopefully not one of the last Clone Wars sets we are going to see, as I know, you know, the Clone Wars, now that it's coming to an end today, even though I'm recording this on Thursday prior to its release, I am really kind of sad because I'm looking at what just very may well be one of the last Clone Wars sets. I really hope it's not, though, because there's still so much potential and so many awesome sets that the LEGO Group can squeeze out of the Clone Wars and everything that it brought to TV. And, you know, I can't believe the Clone Wars is ending today. It's just, it's kind of emotional for me. It really is, because, you know, like I said in the beginning of the video, it really made me who I am today, and it inspired my creativity. So yeah, but regardless, I mean, this set is pretty awesome. The Wolfpack Troopers, I honestly, really, even though I know the color dark gray might be closer to the color that they are in the show, I still think sand blue would have been more fitting and more consistent with the original Wolfpack Troopers from 2010. But I mean, regardless, it's overall a nice set. Still a set we should have received way back when the Clone Wars started, but it's nice to get it, you know, better late than never, right? And if you enjoyed this review or found it informative, be sure to leave this video a like below, as your support really does go a long way. I've been trying to crank out these reviews as quickly as possible. I actually wanted this review to go out yesterday, but I was busy working on my upcoming mock for the for Brickfair, Virginia of this year, the Siege of House City. So I apologize for that. You know, I kind of broke consistency there, but I still wanted to work on the mock a bit, and that's why I delayed recording. That's why this is going up today. And yeah, so without further ado, you can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Links to both of those are also in the description below, and there I post all kinds of behind-the-scenes photos and updates of what I'm up to and what's to come for my channel. And yeah, I definitely recommend you check that out for Sharks if you want to see all that good stuff. And yeah, you can. That's pretty much it though for this review, guys. And I will catch you later. All right. Now time to go watch the final episodes of the Clone Wars. Once again, I can't believe I'm saying that. Man, am I gonna miss this show. But anyway, guys, that's it, and I'll catch you later. All right.
Bye. Sir, can we be of any help?
What? No, go away and get this cannon out of here. It's 6 years too late.
Dang it, but I just spent those 6 years building it.
The Clone Wars live action, that would be awesome if the Clone Wars were live action, let me tell you. I mean, hey, a live action friggin' Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka with whole 9 yards. Alright, guys, oh wait. This is Michael MGF, and today we're gonna, no. And you can see here, words define me.